Every day that you spend talking yourself out of doing something that you really want to do and you let those fears get in your way, that is a day wasted. The time is going to pass no matter what. Like, the days are passing, the time is passing, we can't stop it. So why not spend it doing something that you really want to do? You know, you have that passion, that dream, that calling in your heart to do something for a reason, because that's what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. And the further, you know, you push it out, you're doing a disservice to yourself because you're not living authentically. And for whatever reason, you could be afraid of what people are going to say about you. You could be scared and fearful of even taking that first step, and, you know, sort of putting yourself in an analysis paralysis kind of mindset, and, you know, just feeling worried about being perfect. But you are going to figure it out when you keep going. After you take that first step, you need to take that initial step to figure out how the path is going to go. You're not going to know before even starting how things are going to go out. There's no way to predict that, and it could turn out to be in a way that is so unpredictable to you that you don't even see coming, but it is going to feel authentic to you no matter what. So as long as you are doing what you feel authentically called to do, you're going to be, you know, you're going to feel so satisfied no matter what. Like I said, no matter how it ends up at the very, you know, whatever, when you want to finish your goal, however that looks to you, you're still going to feel fulfilled because you're doing something that is authentic to you. And you're going to find your people along the way. You're going to find the right supporters who are really going to care about you. And again, like I said, it could be you could be holding yourself back by thinking about the opinions of others. Like, if you have people around you who don't really believe what you're doing is, you know, beneficial, or, you know, if it's something that you should be doing. But as long as it feels right to you, it doesn't really matter what other people think, because, you know, the people in my life don't know what my calling is, or, like, I don't know the same for them. So I think for us to tell other people that they shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z or whatever, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because we don't know what other people should be doing, and vice versa. They don't know what we should be doing. But, yeah, that was a little bit more than I wanted to say at first, and I do have some, like, other notes. But hello there, I'm Julia. Let me have some of my tea real quick. But I've really been thinking lately that, you know, the time that we have is passing anyway. Like, it's 11:55 right now, and in an hour it's going to be 12:55, and that is going to be an hour that I should think about how I'm going to spend it, and to make sure I'm spending it doing something that is productive to me. Again, productivity is kind of relative. It could be, you know, a nap could be productive, like sitting outside and just having like a little time with nature could be productive. So again, productivity is relative. It's whatever it means to you, but it's however feels right to you, while you are still, you know, living authentically for yourself. And like I said, the time is going to pass no matter what. And I know you'd be kicking yourself. These are just my notes from my journal. I know you'd be kicking yourself if you let another year pass without taking some sort of action towards your goals. Like, I can't even believe it's almost April. This year has just flown by so quickly. We're almost a third of the way through the year, which is, like, insane. Actually, no, a quarter. And then after April will be a third of the year, because we'll be done with 4 months. But anyway, we're at a quarter of the month through the year, which is, like, insane. And if you aren't spending that time doing something that you really, really feel called to do, even if it's half an hour a day, then what are you doing? You're not living authentically to yourself. And again, you're doing yourself a disservice by not being honest with yourself about the things you care about. You could be holding yourself back. Again, you could have a fear of starting because you feel like you need to know the full steps ahead of you. But as soon as you take that first step, the path is going to open up for you and it's going to make sense. So you need to take that first step. And I was going to say something else, but I forgot. Anyway. Yeah, thinking of the end goal can be scary and feel so far away, but every second you spend wasting your own time and your own potential is even scarier. You are wasting your own potential. There are people who are sort of, it could be a partnership, it could be like a job position, it could be, you know, whatever it is. It could be a certain role, like within your family. It doesn't have to be this like giant life-changing, like you're on the news, like crazy kind of role like that. It could be like something that you're doing in your community, again, like in your family with your friends. It could be a role that you are hiding yourself and keeping yourself back from that would feel most authentic to you. You could really, really care about animals and want to volunteer at a shelter, but you're too afraid to like put yourself out there and to be noticed by people that you haven't even done it. But still at the end of every day, you're like, wow, I really love animals. And, you know, I hate seeing animals suffer, and I hate seeing like all of these, like full shelters, whatever it is, and that you really want to help in that aspect. But, you know, every day that you're not doing that, you're holding yourself back, you're keeping yourself unhappy, and you're doing a disservice from the people that would love to know you and the people that would be aligned with you. Again, if it's people at like an animal shelter, you can make your best friend, you can meet your best friend at the shelter. You never know. So just as long as you are doing everything that is authentic to you, the path ahead is gonna reveal itself no matter what. But yeah, however, the time you spend learning, making mistakes, and refining your skills is time that will feel so satisfying and fulfilling because you answered that call. You answered that call that you were drawn towards. And each step you take will be something you can cross off your to-do list, and you can keep that momentum and that satisfaction to keep you going. So after you take the first step, I've said this before in other videos, that the first step is going to give you that momentum to get to your second step and your third step and your fourth step. And I feel like sometimes the end goal can feel like far away from us when you're taking the first step. Like you could be looking up the mountain and be like, wow, like that is so far away. But the further you get up the mountain, the closer it's going to look, and you're going to be like more intrigued and more excited to get further, like to the end of the mountain, the very, very top of it. So, and you'll probably get there faster because you're going to be more excited to get to the top of the hill. And, you know, personally, I love crossing things off my list. Sometimes I will even write something onto my list after I've done it. Like if it wasn't initially, if it was something smaller, I will sometimes write it on there because it's so satisfying to cross things off and to know that you've done something, that you've accomplished something. Like even if it's been something you've been thinking about for weeks or months and you've been putting off, even if it's like a phone call. I get like calling like your doctors can be, I don't like those calls either. And it's usually, you know, you pass through a bunch of people. But even doing something like that is so satisfying to cross it off your list because it was something you were dreading, but you got through. So it is something to be excited about, and it's something that will propel you to do the next thing on your list. And once you get started towards your dreams, it'll feel like there's nothing that can stop you because you have that momentum and that excitement, the motivation to keep pushing yourself. But if you don't even make that first step, you'll have no idea of the incredible things you're capable of. Like I was saying, volunteering at a shelter. You have no idea where that's going to lead you, the people you're going to meet. You could adopt one of those animals there, and that could be life-changing for the both of you. You never know where it's going to lead you. And there are so many versions of yourself you've yet to become, so many friends you've yet to meet. And all of those amazing opportunities are on the other side of your fears. You have to get through your fears to take that first step in order to figure out the rest of them. The confidence that I have coming here to record, which would be, you know, the steps I take, making my tea, driving over here, setting up, reflecting the night before, all of those steps, that is the confidence I've built up after stepping outside of my comfort zone to do each of those things. And when I was in high school and college and we would have to present, you know, like speak for 3 to 5 minutes for a presentation about a topic, that was something that was so painful and difficult for me, to stand up in front of the class and to physically speak that long. I remember like when we would be in English or whatever, and we would have to like describe a passage, whatever it meant to us. And even talking for those 10 seconds was like, I had to catch my breath afterwards. It was so exhausting. But now I can come on here and talk for like 15, 20, 30 minutes and not be out of breath, because it is something that I have had to build. I've had to get over that fear and to build the confidence in order to feel comfortable. So I had to take that first step. And honestly, that first step was kind of in high school. You know, with teachers believing in me, teachers like pushing me to go out of my comfort zone, which honestly, thinking back, I'm very grateful for. And to do things again that were outside of my comfort zone, things that I wasn't comfortable with, but I wanted to do at the same time. Like I loved talking. I loved, having friends talking about things and, putting myself up there. I loved it, but it was so terrifying to me at the same time. So it took having those teachers to push me out of my comfort zone, to do things that they sort of felt that I was like, more geared towards. But again, it was something I had to get out of my own way about. I had to release and remove those fears. And that is some confidence that I've been able to build up with their help and with just taking that step every single day to, even come on here and talk. So that is something that I've really had to get over. And, if I can do that, then you can do that. It has taken me, just so much work to be able to do that. And to be able to look at myself. So if I can do that, you can do it. Honestly, you can achieve anything that you desire if you're willing to put yourself into the position, into the spotlight, and to get out of your comfort zone and to do what you really, really feel called to. It doesn't have to be public speaking, talking, or anything like that. It could be just putting your work online and posting pictures, being vulnerable, and, talking about your process. Like if you're an artist and you love painting, just recording yourself painting and, talking about your process even in the caption and writing more about it. Like people don't really have to see your face or to hear you speak to get the message and to feel your authenticity. And yeah, it just requires you to put yourself into the world without expectation and without judgment. So without expectation that something's going to blow up, or without expectation, on the other hand, that people are going to hate it, but just feeling most authentic in what you do and what you want to provide to the world without judgment. And it might not be great the first try, but you need to actually do it in order to progress and build. You need to take the first step to see step 2, 3, and 4. So stop wasting your time thinking you need to make that thing perfect before it can be experienced, because perfect doesn't exist. And also, there was another video that I was listening to. I heard somebody say the other day that was a nice reminder to me, but also I'll relay that to you guys, that what you have is a masterpiece to somebody else. So something that you think might be imperfect, somebody else is in love with, and they don't want you to change it all. Like again, that could be an artwork. It could be like a song. If you've made a song and you don't think it's perfect, you feel like you still need to work on it. Someone might think that like if you keep working on it, it's gonna like push it away from whatever it is now. They think like right now it is in its perfect form. And it's incredible, and you're sort of like overthinking and, not really appreciating it for what it is. Again, if it's a song, if it's an artwork, and you feel like you need to keep like tweaking it because you think you need to make it like perfect, that doesn't exist, but the right people are going to love it for what it is already. So as long as you feel content with how you've chosen to express yourself and it feels authentic to you, like painting, pottery, whatever it is, that's all that matters. But again, you're doing yourself a disservice and wasting your time by not living authentically to yourself. If you're living for somebody else, if you're living for your parents, your bosses, coworkers, other people's opinions and other people's approvals, that is not you at the end of the day. So whatever you feel authentic to, if like you're somebody, if you're like an R&B singer and you really want to get into country and you really want to, if you take a trip and you want to learn more about country music and other people are sort of like, they don't think that's for you, but you feel it's for you, do it, like no matter what. And unfortunately, like when we do really well, people then start to understand like, oh, like they do know what they're doing. But like sometimes in the process, or like when you're just starting out, people don't really believe in you. It's until they see you succeeding that they really care sometimes. But yeah, just make sure you're doing whatever feels authentic to you. And you will meet the people that fit along your journey. You will align with the right people and the right opportunities and the best ways for you and the right time for you. So, just get out of your head, spend the time and use the time that you have wisely, doing things that you feel are important to you. Again, that could be volunteering. That could be learning more about, like, if you really want to get into music, but you don't even know like the notes, the scales, whatever, start off with that. And, like spend like 30 minutes just studying them every day. And, taking that half an hour each day is going to keep propelling you forward, to take the next step. Like you could, You could be super into classical music, but when you started, you had no idea what you were interested in, like sticking with the music example. So the steps are going to reveal themselves after you take the first one. But you deserve to spend your time in a way that fulfills you and lets you walk in your passion. Not your mom's passion, not your best friend's passion, your passion. So build the momentum by taking the first step. The time will pass anyway, so you should spend it doing something that you love. And that was that. I feel like these videos are getting shorter and shorter because obviously with practice, I'm getting more and more comfortable with my speaking and, with my ideas, that they kind of just come out easier. And my tea has gone cold. That's okay. I do like a nice tea. But I think that was everything for today that I wanted to say. Really just about taking the time that you have, because I haven't been in situations with myself, and I've seen other people in situations where it's just like painful, where like I want to do something so bad or they want to do something so bad, but we're both holding ourselves back from doing it because, again, fear of all the steps involved, fear about being perfect, fear about how people are going to think. But as soon as you remove that fear, remove those emotions that you have, and just think about it as the steps that you need to take, that is when things start to make sense. And also that's when you can get the momentum and you're like, okay, like we got something going here. Even if it is learning, like I said, learning about the music skills. Like I take classes on Skillshare to be better at marketing, to be better as like a sketch artist for jewelry, for drawing like gemstones and stuff like that, and getting like angles accurate and stuff like that. So if I didn't practice, I wouldn't be reaching my end goal, because my goal this year is to be able to draw like photorealistic sketches for jewelry. And practicing, even like I went to an art school, so I'm pretty good at drawing already, but I do want to keep getting better. And I want to understand like light and shadow a lot better, because that really wasn't something I had focused on, or we had focused on in school very much. And it's always been difficult for me to understand. But that is something that I want to get better at. And I can't get better at that unless I don't practice. So, and I also have to get out of the mindset that it has to be perfect when I'm doing it. Like every single time has to be perfect. Like if I have a notebook, I can fill all those notebooks if I want to. I don't have to, have 1 page a day. I can do like 5 pages in a day if I really feel like it. And I feel like personally, yeah, I do hold myself back from feeling like things need to be perfect, or things need to be, perfectly labeled. And even in my journal, I have like all of the days, I got the header and stuff like that, because I try to make everything like outlined and perfect. But I can just write whatever notes I want to, whatever I feel called to. I feel like sometimes I do put myself in a box. So, I say all of this and I give all of this advice from a personal perspective. And again, they're like things that I am kind of going through. So just make sure you are using your time wisely with however you feel that fits for you, living authentically to yourself, whatever your interests are, and whatever you are drawn to. Just keep going towards that. Even if you're just walking towards it, you're tiptoeing, you take like 1 step a day, that is still a step. A step is a step, and it doesn't matter how frequent it is. Just make sure you could be going at a snail's pace, but hey, you're still making movement. You're still doing it. You don't have to be a cheetah. I think cheetahs are the fastest animal. I don't know. Something is. One of those cats are. But you could be a snail. You don't have to be the cheetah or a puma or a bobcat. I don't even know. Now I'm getting a little bit away from it. And I would like to go on a safari now. Okay. So, I think that was it for today. Yeah. So, I got to go home. Got some other things to work on. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Yeah, like and subscribe, do all the things, comment. Hope this reaches whoever needs to hear it, because again, these are all things that I need to hear. So I hope it helps you, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.